everybody. Uh, I'm Caleb Arnold, also known as C-Lab from the band C-Lab and the Kettle Black, and co-founder of Gigaton at Gigaton.ai. Welcome to our fourth attempt at trying to live stream how we build and test with Betty, and then I think our second live attempt at demoing her capabilities. So that's where we're at again today. Welcome to the show. I don't know, is it really a show? There's not really like ta-da. But if I was to show what I was just playing, let's dive right into it. Looks like this. And let me put me up at the upper right hand corner so I guess we can see me. Not that it matters, but everybody. And I think what we're going to try and do here is pull up our Rawk'n Betty AI Logic Pro co-producer application and try and pick up where we left off last time. There is a previous video that shows how this application works, kind of why we built it and what we built, and I'll briefly go over that again here today, but not in extensive detail. And I think I probably owe folks a more thorough and faster read through of ta-da, what it is. But hey, this is live, so here's the pitch. This is an Logic Pro. Sorry, I'm getting feedback on the live stream. Apologies. This is a Logic Pro co-producer, co-engineer AI that we call Rawk'n Betty. And this application is called Producer Betty, which allows our Rawk'n Betty AI to communicate directly with you about the Logic Pro session that you have open. You can communicate your goals, what you're trying to get done, and it stays within this session. So that means it only can see Logic and Logic instances, so plugins, associated internal applications within Logic it can see, but it cannot see externally. So it can't see your files, it can't see anything that you put on top of that might be a different type of image. So just so you know, it does take screenshots, but it's taking screenshots of only what's in Logic. That said, we're going to demo what this kind of does today. I'm going to continue to try to work on this song. I've been building, so I'm completely out of practice. So if we get to the point where I have to actually record something today, you get to watch that mess happen. And we're just going to try and debug the application as we go along. We do have build 12 currently up in the test flight external user and tester app store for Apple. And we also have that same build up in the app store for review. Reviews are not back. That's okay. We're still running demos and testing. One of the reasons we're trying to get it up in the app store is so folks can start giving us feedback to the value of this application, and also so that we can start trying to pay for it, because it's not free or cheap to try and use AI to solve, at least in this space. So really quickly, how Betty works is on the screen here, you're going to see the thing I'm clicking and dragging around here. This is the application itself. And on the right is the chat interface. This is how you talk. You can also talk verbally by holding to talk here. And whenever you talk verbally, Betty will talk back. Whenever you chat, she will chat back. There are ways for you to be able to chat and her only chat back through here, but that goes in a different video. I'm not going to go into detail. Just keep in mind this is kind of how the application works, this being the brains and conversation and voice for Betty. And over here, you can see our Betty sensor in our plugin area. And if you go to our drop down, you can see we have an audio suite Gigaton. There's our Betty sensor plugin. This would be the ears for Betty. So if you consider this the brains, this is the ears, And this is how Betty is able to hear the session technically. So what it really means is she's able to hear, or the application is able to pick up the peak signal across the signal chain. So if we were to press play in the background, let's get it further into the song. Right, we've got it in the red here, so it's picking up some type of, what track is this on currently? Looks like it's going to be for whatever is the top track here in the sensor. We're still trying to build that out, but it looks like it's going to be the voice. Looks like it's the voice. So we're obviously getting some red in there. We can talk to Betty about that today. We also talk about picking up where we left off with our tracks last time, and just kind of go through this song in general and try to make progress on it. I wouldn't consider this my greatest masterpiece for songwriting. This has been a demo version of a song that I've been kind of working and messing around with. I've played it live a few times, and so what I want to do is try and use the application and my own remedial engineering and producer skills to attempt to continue to refine this song to what I'm looking for, which is a releasable version of the song that everybody can listen to. This sounds great. I'm looking for something that's high production quality. We're not trying to create crap songs here. We're not creating slop. If the slop's coming from anywhere, it's coming from right here, baby, right? The AI is here to help us actually remediate human slop and increase our own talent and creative abilities. Get off my podium and let's dive in. All right. Well, I think I just felt a little bit of nerves. Let's demo Betty. Let's see if we can pick up where we left off last time. And I really don't remember, to be honest. It's been a minute since we've done this. We've done a lot of work on the application and building out some of the back-end things. And honestly, let me just check on something really quick. I'm going to look in the background. Yeah, and it looks like we were able to. So, what we're doing here today, just let me add to what's actually happening here today and the intention of what's going on. We're going to attempt to build and fix it live. So we're going to run through some things. If we come across bugs, we're either going to log the bug and try and fix it later, or we're just going to go ahead and push a build that works for us right now and see what happens. So, hey, this is real startup world. When I use this application, even in the demo, it costs us money, right? This is how you get these things up and out. This is product building 101 right here. We're doing the full feedback loop as we're doing it. So now I'll jump in. Let's talk to Betty and find out where we are. Actually, I can see here, this is not maybe the session that I want. You can have multiple, if you look up here in the drop down, you can have multiple conversations. But I think because I'm the builder of this, I think the conversation I'm actually looking for is this one here. I'm going to select it. But obviously, there's probably better ways for us to create the file management portion of this. Just know it should match to the title of the project that you have open. And then you can have multiple conversations in the same project. So again, kind of explaining how the application works going along. You can create a new conversation, same project, have multiple conversations, or you can just keep it in thread with one conversation. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. Trying to make the versatility for you to be able to self-manage what that looks like. It looks like we're really light on the project notes. That's probably a reason for that, but I'm not exactly sure. So it looks like got a full breakdown for you is the last thing she says. Let's see if we can pick up where we left off. And I'll stop talking for a second. Let Betty talk. Betty, can you help us pick up where we left off? It's been a while since we've been in this session, and we would like to know where we're at. It's taking a minute for her to think, come back with an answer.
Welcome back to the studio. We're currently in the Betty template project, and the last time we were here, We successfully archived your original takes to make room for a steady 97 BPM grid. I recommend we get that foundation guitar re-recorded on track 5 at 97 BPM, so the AI drummer has a solid pocket to follow.
Yeah, it looks like Betty, it looks like we're missing some of our project quick tasks. Can you go through our conversation and pull up what our tasks were going to be for this particular project? Let's see if she remembers the conversation we had.
If things look empty, it's likely because we moved your previous work into an archive folder stack to clear the grid for our new 97 BPM goal. Recommendation: check the bottom of your track list for a collapsed track stack named Archive. You can click the disclosure triangle to reveal your original recordings. If the regions are actually gone, use Command-Z to undo the last few steps, or check your project audio browser to pull the files back onto the timeline.
Looks like maybe we lost our project notes from before. That is not something I would expect to happen to an end user or for folks that are be using the application other than me, because I'm in my own data all the time running tests. So this demo is also a demo. So more bugs, and one of the reasons why we're tracking it here today, we get to kind of log some of this stuff live and then go back and fix it. And what's cool is we're using, just so everybody knows, we're using Windsurf, using Claude Opus to help code, and in Windsurf, we also have it set up into our Trello board so that all action items that we pull, not only out of this conversation, but anything we put inside of Windsurf that we think is important, we immediately log in Trello and build that way. So if you want to know how to do that, that's a future probably workshop, or I don't know, is this a workshop session, YouTube live stream? Who knows, but I can show you how to do that if you're interested. The other thing we're going to do, I guess, here is, since it's not going to remember our project notes, let's see if we can get a list. Can you go through our conversation and create a list of items that we need to work on still? Might be reaching. Find out.
I've analysed our session and condensed the remaining production work into a focused checklist. We need to clear the technical hurdles before the final takes. Remaining studio tasks: 1. Rhythmic foundation. Re-record the main guitar at a steady 97 BPM to replace the loose mapping.
Today.
2. Technical calibration. Finalize the 48 kHz audio conversion and check for pitch shifts in existing assets. 3. Drum development. Select an R&B drummer, Benny or Rose, and configure them to follow the Isaac Hayes loop pocket.
I am using
4.
an Isaac Hayes
Vocal
loop.
production. Finalize song lyrics, then retrack the main vocals and add backup harmonies.
And I don't want to. Hey, we all get inspiration from each other. I'm not going to play the loop because I don't want to do any copyright infringement, but that is definitely an inspiration for me in order for this song, and I plan on trying to figure out what that looks like whenever I create that. Like, how do you do that? It doesn't sound the same, but inspired me. It's amazing loops, honestly. Some amazing beats, amazing music in general. I don't know why I just think in loops and beats. That's not the only thing, but just to break beats in general, just some of my favorites for sure. Okay, enough about that. Update project notes, re-record foundation guitar. It looks like it wants, and it's got 3 more action items waiting. So what's cool is Betty will come up with, the list of things based on the conversation that you've had. And if we click execute here, we should see our project notes update. There we go. And she's right too. That's all the stuff we actually talked about in this conversation. And if our project notes aren't persisting, then that's a different bug, and we got to go figure out what that is, regardless. Okay. Let's keep going. It says re-record foundation at 97 BPM. So I've got a problem here, and right here, if I click on the back, you'll notice that Betty stays out in front. That's because we've got this keep window on top toggle on. Right at the top, you can turn tooltips on and off, and you can keep the window here on top. The dog's adding to the conversation. You can keep Betty on top. Or if we click this off, then there we go. And I just made that sound with my mouth. So that's not an actual, it's not an actual sound. Dog's distracting me. I'm trying to concentrate on what we need to do next. The problem we have here is our tempo layout is on this grid. It's not at a flat 97, and I think that was one of the things that we had talked about, was making this a flat 97 and then archiving all of these, creating a new drum track at that 97 and re-recording the guitar. That is true. I think these are supposed to be archived, but I don't see them archived. I see them all muted because I just muted them. So perhaps we ask her to take us back through the archive, because that doesn't seem to be a track stack that was created, and maybe that might be true. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk to Betty about kind of the instructions she gave us and how to guide us through how to do that correctly, because it doesn't look like we're in the position that she thought we were in. Let's try and see what happens. Betty, I don't think we saved the version that had the track stack. Can you guide us back through the whole archive process so we can get our tracks in order and I can flatten this to a 97 BPM that I can record to?
No problem. Let's get your workspace cleaned up so you can record to a fresh grid. We'll bundle your current work into a folder and then flatten the project tempo to a steady 97 beats per minute. Archive and grid. Prep. 1. Select all regions in your timeline, Command A, right-click any of them, and select Create Track Stack. Then choose Folder Stack. 2. Double-click the stack name to call it Archive. Then hit the M key to mute it and the H key to hide it from your view. 3. Open the tempo track, Command-Shift-T. Select all those variable tempo nodes and hit Delete to clear them. 4. Finally, click the tempo in the top LCD display and type in 97 to lock in your new steady metronome.
This is all great. I have one more question, and I wonder if I need to use a scan session for you to see it, but there is a timeline of our tempo that is kind of mapped all over the place. What do I do with that?
That jagged map is just the metadata from the earlier analysis, and it'll fight your new 97 BPM goal until it's cleared out. I'll make a note for you to open the global tempo track with Command-Shift-T, select all those points, and hit Delete. Once it's a flat line again, you can set the LCD to 97, and your grid will be perfectly steady.
Okay. We added those to the notes too. So you can see, hey, remedial engineer at best. I just sometimes need guidance remembering what we're doing and working through the project. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to get off track. If you're anything like I am, I squirrel constantly in the middle of sessions, and so this is great, actually. Okay, let's keep working. So going back to her earlier instructions, let's just follow them step by step and see how accurate it is. I'm going to pull this down here, and she's on top, and we'll just take a look at her instructions. Archive and grid prep. Select all regions in your timeline, Command A. Okay. Oh, like this. It doesn't look like it. If I do that, oh, is that right? Nope. Just took a screenshot. No, it's not doing it. I think I don't have it selected right. That's okay. I know how to do this. We just select them all like that. There you go. And we can turn off that as well. This is Command A. Right click any of them and select Create Track Stack, Folder Stack. Create Track Stack. There we go. Folder Stack. And I think she said, and then name it Archive. Is that what she said? And then hit the M key to mute it. Open the tempo track, Command Shift T, and select all those variable tempo nodes and hit delete to clear them. Oh, she told me to do that right off the bat, and then I asked the question, didn't I? See? Human slop. And I'm sure there's folks out there right now that are like, well, you should have remembered that. You should shut up. Okay, there we go. And now we've deleted all those like it was suggested. And let's run our tempo map up to 97. I think that's the tempo I was going for. And we're there. It looks like we've got a muted track stack. It says 97, and there we are. So let's go here. Re-record foundation guitar at 97. Okay, we've done that. Okay. I'm just going to tell her that we did all of these things. We did all, man, why am I yelling? We did all of these things. What's next? Boom. Cool. Right? Now that the grid is clean and the old takes are tucked away, it's time to capture the new heart of the song. Re-record, enable your new track, and lay it down the foundation part at 97 BPM. This performance will be the anchor that our AI drummer and bassist use to lock in the groove. That's if I don't wind up playing those instruments myself. I probably will. We'll find out cool ways to be able to make this work as we work through it. I think I could probably hide our tempo map here too, but I'm going to ask her about it just because I want her to show everybody how, if you have questions like how to hide things or how to do things inside of Logic, you don't have to fight it anymore. You could just ask Betty. And so highly encourage, if you have a problem, don't fight it. Ask. And then you're 50, even when she's wrong or not quite right, I'm 50% further than I was before I didn't ask the question. So this is for any engineer. This is for anybody at any level. Today, you're just seeing me coming into a song from where I am in my career, trying to work through this, also building Betty at the same time, and then trying to share that with folks. Imagine where you are in your career and her understanding exactly what you need and helping you work through your Logic sessions so you can get your masterpieces out the door for folks. And then there's less of the going to the engineers when you need to go to the studio and not having your prep work ready, Betty can help guide you through being able to rename your track names the right things, studio prep and engagement and what that looks like, being able to take feedback from that particular studio directly and incorporate it in what these sessions look like, so it's less of configuration and messy time for the engineers whenever you get there, and you're actually going there with the right thing in the right place at the right time, and you're maximizing the amount of money that you're spending while you're in the studio, because studio time is not cheap or free. Again, I'll get off my soapbox. Let's keep rolling. Update project notes, capture foundation guitar. Now, yeah, I know we already kind of have that. We'll see. Is it going to add it again? Oh, that's kind of where we are. We record foundation guitar. Okay. I think one of the things that I'm missing here is that I kind of want a drummer. That's how the guitar line works. And so I wonder if I can't get some help from her in picking what a drummer might look like. Let's see how she can help. Hey, I could use the tempo or the metronome to perform this, but that might lose some of the feel that I'm looking for. What do you suggest here? Question mark. Oop, I don't have to do that. Do you suggest that maybe I don't use a metronome and we try a drummer? Okay. Ridiculous slop on my part. Okay, I don't have to do that.
I completely hear you. A robotic click can really kill the vibe. Instead of the metronome, let's use your slow jam kit on track 1 to provide a musical pocket that feels more natural while staying at that steady 97 BPM. Recommendation: unmute track 1 and use a basic kick snare pattern as your guide instead of the click. This gives you a rhythmic cushion to lean into so your guitar performance keeps its soul.
So you're suggesting opening up the archive and unmuting track 1 from our archive to use as the tempo map for the new guitar take, correct?
Volume up.
Oh, she took that as a... Yeah, see, we weren't asking for volume up on anything. That is a bug. Snap that. And what I do is we take screenshots of items as we build. We have a strong documentation base of how things work. And we input these screenshots in with the application logs. And it allows us to troubleshoot and debug. Done great so far. I don't think I need necessarily to log that bug yet, but I am going to note Betty took request as volume incrementation and couldn't execute command. Now, in this session, what I could take the logs and post them in if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to go that far. We're just going to note it right now. Leave it as is. It's one bug. Okay. And she didn't get a chance to talk back. I actually want to hear what her comment is going to be about that. Betty, we had a hiccup there. Can you say what? Can you answer my last question? What can you?
Actually, I wouldn't pull from the archive. Since we've flattened the project to a steady 97 beats per minute, I suggest creating a fresh region on your slow jam kit track that plays a simple kick and snare at that new speed. This way, you're playing to a consistent musical groove that matches the new grid exactly. Recommendation: keep the archive hidden so it doesn't distract you, And let's just loop a 1-bar drum pattern on track 1 at 97 beats per minute to use as your rhythmic guide.
Okay, so we got clarity on that. Notice that she's adding another 97 BPM. It keeps adding this track in, so we're going to add that as another bug. And this is like what you're watching me do. This is what I encourage you to do whenever you're using our application. You can throw it in Discord, grab a screenshot, throw it in Discord in our support channel, or we'll add the option even for you to eventually be able to add those support items directly back into the application. And that will go into our feed to help us help you figure it out. Let's go ahead and log that. Sorry, everybody. Watching paint dry. Project note commands seem to repeat even if already existing. And you got to think about the logic behind that. How often do you add things to a list that you already have? Double check against it, cross-reference. Is it already on my list? I mean, come on. All right, let's do what she said. She says that we should add another track, so let's just go ahead and do it. We're going to come up here to Logic track. She can't add new tracks yet. That's not a feature that we have created down the road, maybe if folks want something like that. But for now, that's just not quite there yet. So let's go to new tracks. We're going to create a new drummer track. And we went full screen. Too full screen. That's more full screen than I want a full screen. Okay. Acoustic drummer. My favorite kind. See what it sounds like. Let's be honest. It immediately can play drums better than I can. But nobody's killing it at this party. Okay, it's pretty bland. Let's stop. And what we'll do is we're going to scan the session and then have Betty give us a recommendation of a better drummer. What does it say here? It says, fresh region on your slow jam kit track that plays a consistent musical groove. Let's see if we can select around. This is just normal trying to find your drum kit. SoCal. Okay. How do I find the right kit? And let's scan the session. How do I find the right breakbeat kit and also breakbeat inside of the AI drummer?
To find the right breakbeat vibe, you'll want to head to the electronic genre in the drummer menu. Select Magnus or Kyle. They specialize in those chopped breakbeat style patterns. Recommendation: once you've selected an electronic drummer, open the library or Y and look under Drum Kit, Breakbeat, to find a kit that matches that gritty, sampled sound.
Let's see if this is accurate, right? It's telling me complete recommendations that might be a hallucination. We don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm select Magnus or Kyle. You can select Magnus or Kyle. Says once you select an electronic drummer, you want to head to the electronic genre in the drummer menu. I'm looking. There's probably folks out there that know exactly where this is at. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I think it's important to act like you, even if I do know. In this case, I'm just going to admit it. I don't know what it's referring to. And I would like to know if there's another drum kit available. Let's also take a look here and see whether this is what it's referring to. It looks like we can pick drum kits from drums, Ultra Beat, sampler, studio sound. And again, it says to the electric genre in the drummer menu. I don't know where the electric drama in the drummer menu is. I don't see that anywhere. Can you please help? Drama, electric drama.
To find the electronic drummers, you first need to change the genre within the drummer editor at the bottom of your screen. Recommendation: click the genre button. It likely says rock or R&B right now, and select electronic from the list. From there, you'll see Magnus and Kyle appear as the selected players.
First, need to change the genre of the drummer editor at the bottom of your screen. Click the genre button. Likely says rock or R&B right now. We just did a scan session. Can you see which drummer we're using currently?
I see you're currently using the SoCal kit on track 1, which is the default for a powerhouse rock drummer. Since you're looking for that breakbeat feel, we'll need to swap that out for an electronic player. Recommendation: in the drummer editor, change your genre to electronic and select Magnus. He'll give you those syncopated breaks you're after.
Default powers. In the drummer editor, change your genre to electric. Oh. So there's this little thing right here, I guess. And I mean, she didn't guide me to this, right? So that would have been a value add. Maybe a pop-up. I mean, we're not making Clippy here. If it's not intuitive, it's not intuitive, right? So if I don't know to click on this pop rock or to tell my puppy dog to stop yapping. Acoustic, electronic drummer. pull this down so you can see it. It's still acoustic drummer. We want electronic drummer. Yep. And then it says select Magnus. Well, there's no Magnus here. That's fun, right? Just somebody in the background. That's always fun. Welcome to live streaming out of your house. I don't know what to select. I mean, it didn't really help here in this case. Electronic and select Magnus. I don't know who Magnus is. I don't see Magnus. Hold on a second. Okay. It says I see you're using SoCal Kit on track 1. Again, it's not really switching it for us here, is it? Acoustic drums, electric drums. Oh, look at this. So again, it tells me that an option exists. This is I'm gonna be flat out, I feel like this is a problem between logic and the AI's ability to be able to understand that this is even something that is possible in here. It says in the drummer edition, electronic select Magnus will give you the syncopated beats. Search in SoCal to electric drummer Magnus. We've heard this multiple times now. Still don't understand how to do that. So many beats in here though. Brooklyn, no break beats. Battle blocks. Right. So I don't think this is going to help. It's not. I mean, you could try it. Oh no. See? Now we're in this. How many of these can I go through to find the right one? Not what I was shooting for. Let's keep trying. Drums. It's not going to be drum kit designer. Back into here. I have no idea what it's talking about. Magnus. I don't get it. No. Right, and this is where you start getting frustrated because you're like, let's try this. Still didn't change the kit in the background, right? Like, I mean, it changed what the kit is, but it didn't change the actual feel of the song or any of the progressions or chords. Or we're still in a pop rock sure. But how frustrating is that, right? Just trying to get to, hey, first off, drums are hard. Drums are really hard. It's a hard instrument. There'll be haters out there that are like, whatever. It's the reason drummers are the way they are. I'm just going to say it. It's a hard job. You know what? We're going to go with it because I'm tired of fighting it. But it's a perfect example. Like, even with AI help, you're not getting around the learning curve that easily with some of this stuff. And it's really a way for us to be able to not only advance this product, but really try and help advance the pace of the learning here. Because here I'm willing to accept this, but this isn't going to be the end all be all. I still got to go back and fight this drum loop. Hey, what's the saying? You know, perfection is the enemy of good enough. Let's drag this out a minute and let's see if I can record this take. We'll use Betty to see if we can't arm the track and run the take. Let's go ahead and open up a new track. Actually, before we do that, let's use Betty to open it just because we can. And see where it is. We never did find the Magnus drummer, but we found a drum beat that's good enough. So in the meantime, we'd like to pick up on the guitar recording. What do you suggest we do to create the new track?
Volume up.
Oh, see. I don't need her help to do this part. Let's just create a track. I don't want to use the first off input's going to be 2, so you're not hearing it through the mic. And we're going to use I'm going to delete the channel strip settings. It's fine. What? Didn't do anything. I don't want to bypass. I want to get rid of all these. I hate that this is how you have to do this. Can you group select? Is it possible? Let's try. Nope. Nope. Just going to turn them all on. Then I've already guitar, got an amp I'm going to use, and we'll see whether it opens up the way that I'd like it to. I like, everybody's got their own choices, but I go to amplitude 5. Let's just go mono to stereo. And I have a setting in here. We got an orange amp set up, fan orange. I like what they do. Let's drop Betty out for a second and take a look at our signal. Gotta plug in a guitar. Give me a second. See if we can do this. Probably out of tune, but I'm about to find out. Guitar is good enough. We can always mess with it later. Back to the beginning. Yes, I want the monitoring on. I'm going to mute this out. Can I still hear it? Let's record arm to track. Now, Betty can actually do all this. She can record arm to track herself, and maybe we should just try that. So let's go ahead and ask Betty to do it. We'll see what happens here. Okay, we've created track 10 for guitar. Can you record, enable, and mute that track so we can record?
Muted.
So it did not mute track 10. Let's try record arm track 10, mute track 10. Ooh, did we just crash it? It did not like that. Okay, what do you know? Crash the app. It's good though. Push it. Push it real good. Uh-oh. Pretty sure I can get in trouble for even singing that. Let's force quit. Alright. Try it again. See what we picked up. And again, we went to the wrong session, right? So it's another bug to add solo track. Here, just check the levels, make sure. It doesn't look like we persisted the memory either, nor did we persist the project notes. This is great. Hey, apologies, folks, if you're using this early on and it's not getting you what you need. That's because, well, there we go. So this is a UI and a UX problem. The correct conversation was there. So were all the project notes. We had not selected the correct one, nor did we pull the last version we had opened up first, which is the persistence that we want to happen in the app. So more stuff to keep in mind, but our build's back and we're back. She thinks we're still using the SoCal kit. So let's we're not going to do a deep scan because we are only seeing a few tracks here. We're just going to scan the session, but we do want her to bring her up to speed. So let's scan it really quick. And then let's ask her to do the same thing again. Mute track 10. So it's...
I've muted track 3 for you to clear up the sonic space while you work.
Okay. Record arm track 10. Ah, there it is. There's the bug. I see it now, you know that there's the bug. Great, great, great. That's what I wanted. I just need to know what I flaunted. Okay. Yeah, and it's still going. Great. when we ask Betty to record, ARM recording app freezes. Sorry folks, just typing. So then, if we can't do anything about this, we got to quit the app again. Sucks. It's just in the build. And then we'll run it again. And this time I'll just put the recorded track myself, but I'm going to go ahead and enter this in for our next fix. So let's okay. We're not back to the same track. We're going to try and do it again. Still not the right conversation. There's the conversation. Okay. I think she muted track 3. It doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and record and enable it ourselves. We'll keep Betty on top for now. And I don't even remember the song, to be honest. And I don't know what to do with my pick. Doesn't matter. Let's use one different one. All right. I'm getting mumbly, so I don't know how much longer this session's going to last where I can stay not in my thinking phase. How are we doing in OBS? Great. All right, let's try and record this part of the song. And see what we get. Hear the amp. I don't hear any of the main stuff. So bad. So bad. If you're out there, you're seeing this, feel my pain. Feel it. Okay. What is why aren't we hearing the amp? Yeah, what's happening? What's happening? Something sounds way off. That's correct. It's muted on the Focusrite side. That's what we want. Okay. Wow, way off. And the reason we don't mute it here is because we're muted at the Focusrite level, and that way we keep our feedback from happening. Okay, don't need to keep talking. Just because we're going to add Betty to the signal chain. I forgot to do this. There we go. We got a little bit of red in there, and we're going to leave that in there so that she can do the analysis. And we're going to see where things land on the other side. It's probably going to be terrible. Let's go. Wow. Rusty. Pretty bad. But here's the thing. I've got Betty right here to help me just keep kind of plugging through it. So I'm listening to playback atrociously and find out what it actually sounds like. Let's click out of Betty for a second. That's cool. Oh. It's moments like this, as an artist, you just kind of hate yourself. I'm sure there's people that just make magic out of everything, but you got to practice all the time. And been building, not practicing, is what it sounds like. So, what I'm going to do is have Betty analyze it really quick and just kind of give me feedback based on what she's seeing in the general signal. I just took my first take. Give me some feedback based on what your analysis is so far.
Your guitar take is looking much healthier now that we've pulled the input gain back. You're peaking around negative 12 decibels, which gives us tons of clean headroom. Rhythmically, you're sitting nicely with that drum guide. But since we're going for a breakbeat vibe, I'd recommend trying one more take where you really emphasize the syncopation to match Magnus's energy. Recommendation: keep this take as a solid safety, then record one more pushed version on a new take lane to see if we can get a bit more grit to match the new drum kit.
We never used Magnus. We used a different beat. We couldn't find Magnus, so I'll do the retake.
Understood. Stick with the beat that feels right for the vibe. To find Magnus later, remember to switch the drummer genre to electronic specifically. Recommendation: focus on locking into the pocket of your current guide while keeping your input levels around 12 decibels to preserve that clean headroom.
Okay. You know, right now this gets into the part where I really don't need everybody to watch me painstakingly go through and remember this song in a way that allows me to be able to perform it at the level that I need to get the take that I need. So, welcome to recording. But the nice thing is, if I have any questions along the way, I can easily just ask Betty, and that's all part of it. I think that's going to conclude what we have going on today. I've got a lot of notes that I can take. You know, it wasn't a long session. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be long enough to kind of show the power of what it is that we're using. And this is just the beginning. We plan on, continuing to use this to map out how to create and build going forward for a while. I don't know. Let me get back in front of everybody. I don't plan on stopping. I plan on continuing to, the team and I plan on continuing to try and make this as seamless as we can. So it's just a loop for you to be able to easily come in, record, play, and knock songs out and get the engineering help and feedback that you need. So more to come. We'll have another session up here soon, and we'll continue to improve and look for your feedback. Thank you very much, everybody, and thanks for tuning in.